have a little view, but I can't see if our Wahlbergs is there. Yes, there it is. So there's the Wahlberg's eagle head sitting on top. And so while all the other guys have a bit of a view of the lion, we're going to have a look at the Wahlberg's eagle and just check it out. And I believe Jamie, who's all the way on the other side of Africa, is continuing with her upward surge of birds for the afternoon.
Possibly only, Tristan, because I can't find the lion that I was told was around here through our bird covers. So we're continuing with an eagle. Looks like a tawny eagle. It's a bit tricky because it's hidden behind the trees, but it looks like a tawny eagle. And the lion that I thought was somewhere around here, I don't know where it went. But there we go. I didn't want to keep you away for too long. We've also got some baby topi just to show you some mammals as well, because I feel quite not guilty. I definitely don't feel guilty. There's something for everything on these live safaris. And sometimes it's fun to show just birds. It's entertaining for us. It keeps us on our toes. But it's nice to see a little baby topi with its long, long limbs. Also saw a pallid harrier a little bit earlier on. I don't know if Brent saw one, but it flew away so quickly. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Kaelin or Talon, but you want to know if beaks have pleasure or pain receptors, or indeed any sense of touch. Palin. I'm not sure. I think they are pretty much, I mean, they'd feel pressure because of the base, because of the attachment to the base, just in the same way that your fingernails, if you scrape on something or hook them into something, you could feel pressure. But I don't think they feel pain. I doubt you can tickle the bird of a beak and it will actually enjoy the sensation. I'm trying to see if we could maybe do it, but no. But there are very specialized feathers around the edge of a bird's bill. They're called rictal bristles, and it's a feather that's basically the bird's equivalent of the whiskers. Sorry, I have to keep moving, otherwise we're going to miss gate closing. But those are the way in which the bird catches things out of the air. Okay, as we make our way back towards the gate, but at the same time looking for birds to show you back across to Tristan, let's hope the male lion roars after all the rain.
Yeah, it's Tinyo. Well, you can see it's definitely Tinyo. Now that I can see him and he's walking kind of past us and we've got a front view of him, it's definitely, you can see the little lip hanging up on the left hand side and his scarred up face, but he is still looking magnificent. His body's in good condition. He's taking on that dark, rich black color that these male lions get when they come into their prime, and there you can see that lip as it looks up. He's almost got a bit of a gangster look to him. I like Tinyo. He's got a bit of character, and he's not my favorite of the Birminghams. I have another, well, Nena is my favorite, but I still like Tinyo. There's a bit of character in that body and a bit of kind of, I don't know, a bit of hardcoreness to him, and the fact that he's got all scarred up. It seems as though he's not afraid to go into a bit of a fight with some of the others, and he really has developed into a magnificent lion. His mane has gotten bigger, it's gotten darker. He really has become a beautiful individual. But let's not waste too much time, because unfortunately he is striding straight southwards, because I think he's going to head onto Little Gowrie, and I want to try and just catch up with him in case he roars one more time, because at the end of the day I don't think we're going to get too many more views of him. It's not far from the boundary now. We're a little bit south of well, Little Gowrie is just a little bit south of us, so it's not going to be long. Hopefully he goes up onto the dam wall itself and maybe lies on top of the dam wall. That would be nice, but I don't know if he is. I think he's got a mission and he's going straight south. Maybe he's heard his brothers responding or his coalition members responding and he's going to head in that direction. I'm not 100% sure, or he's heard the sticks or something like that and he's now going to make his way down to that area. But let's just drop down onto the lower dam wall, because it seems as though he's bypassing this dam wall completely. Here we go, and it's a bit of a pain because I was actually wanting to do a bit of birding. When have you ever heard me say this, that it's a pain to... I was going to do some birding at Twin Dams, but with all these vehicles now, I'm sure if there's any bird that was anywhere near here was going to fly away. But here we go. He's going to come right past us, and unfortunately we're not going to get too much more of a view of him after this. So I think he's going to unfortunately disappear. I just want to get off the road a little bit. So this definitely means that he's going southwards. He's not going to end up being on this area for too much longer, although he seems as though he's slowing down a little bit. Maybe he's just avoiding the puddles. So here he comes, but look at those eyes. There's something about a male lion when he kind of looks at you. It's almost as though he bores these holes straight through your soul and into the back of your head. They really do have serious looking eyes, especially when it's surrounded by a face that is so scarred like Tinyo has. It really is quite something to see. You can see he's just kind of going around, and he's definitely going to cross very shortly. He's, like I say, going to be over the boundary in the next 2 minutes. But how cool is that? There's not much better in the world than going past, well, having a big male lion stroll past you in a rainy atmosphere. It is the most wonderful thing. But off he goes, and you can see there's the boundary coming up now. He's just crossed the fire break, so he'll be gone in 2 minutes. I'll try and turn so we can get one last view of him as he goes over, but I think it's not going to be long until he does cross and out of our area, unfortunately. But we'll just stop here and just watch him go past and straight into Little Gari by the looks of things, unfortunately. I was hoping he was going to let out one more roar for us as he was going, but it seems as though he's really got to be somewhere, and he's just kind of head down and plodding along now. Maybe he heard that the others call from close by, and now he's just trying to connect with them, and once he gets a little closer, then he'll start to actually call. But there he goes towards Baboon Pan, and that will be the last we'll be able to see of him, unfortunately, as he disappears over our southern boundary. Two of them. At some point yesterday afternoon, so maybe that's where he's heading to go. Those two. What a nice guy. They're busy birding, and all of a sudden you get a male lion in front of you with a big booming roar. Absolutely spectacular way to have a afternoon. So I'm super happy with that. That was very, very cool. I'm actually going to find beautiful bird, the fancy head.
It could be
It was so contorted earlier, I couldn't even figure out what it was initially. It looked so strange. Now, it was going to be just a brief view because now I'm late. Now I'm really late. Now I really have to go. So there you go, a secretary bird, at least one of the big birds for birding big day. I haven't managed the crown cranes, which is one of the reasons why I came down this road. But we did manage a secretary bird, and we managed a ground hornbill. Okay, I've now got to fly. Hello, little waterbuck. So it's getting to that stage where the Mara team will have to retire for the evening, and we'll just have to wait for that extra hour to see if Djuma catches up. I think they're going to. I suspect Tristan and Noel will have a few things up their sleeve. I think they're going to catch us. The rain covers. Although they also had to deal with the rain as well. All's fair. Okay, now I'm sure that Brent is in the same position that I am, which is the desperate need to race back towards the gate. Let's jump across so that he can tell you about it.
desperate to win. I don't know what's going on. Faith, are we live? What I heard is, oh no, that's not Brent through my ear. But it is I, it is Brent. It is I promise. Let me just have a look over there. I'm not sure what happened there. Don't worry, Faith. Oh, yes, crown cranes. We don't have them on our list yet. We're the topi, to the right of the topi slightly. There we go. Crowned cranes. Woolly neck stork. Oh, is that what is that? Another woolly neck stork. Anisacrid ibis. Crown crags was one of the birds we're missing today, which is obviously quite a common bird in the Mara. But we just didn't get to see them. And what else have we got around here? Oh, I can hear a scaly spurfowl. I'm going to go try find it. Gah, 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 gah. One of the least attractive calls in the world, the scaly spurfowl. Okay, quickly across to Tristan, who's got another bird, but he's still far behind.
Well, we did have a weaver species here, a male and a female. Looked like a southern masked weaver, but I can't see them now. I've lost where they've gone to. There is a nest that is not too far, so maybe if we go back a little bit, we'll see them at the nest. Is it in the middle? So, let's see. Oh, there it is. Yes, go straight in. There goes Seb. Straight in a little bit to your left. Up, up. There, it's hopping about in that section. There it is. So there's the female of a southern masked weaver that is bouncing around. The male is here somewhere as well. I don't know where he's gotten to. Now, to tell the difference between southern masked and village weavers is quite difficult. I'll try and show you shortly. The southern masked weaver has a little bit more black on the top of the beak, which is what this individual had. In the females, it's quite difficult. The female does have a reddish kind of colored eye. Now, is that female got the reddish eye? Because it doesn't look like it to me. Maybe there's a female of a different weaver species. Maybe this is the village weaver that we've got here, the female of. No, I think it is the southern masked. I'm trying to find the male again. There he is on the bottom right there. Is that the male or is that the female again? Straight in, Seb. Straight in. No, that's the female again. What color eye do you have? I can't even see. It's so difficult when they bounce their heads like this. But we do get another type of weaver called a lesser masked weaver, and that female will have a whiter colored eye. Now, the male that we saw just now definitely didn't have the whiter colored eye, and this one doesn't either. You can see the eye is actually quite dark, so it's a reddish brown eye, which means that it is the southern masked weaver. Nice. So that's a good one to add to our list. It's now flying away. Sorry, Seb. Just looking around for any other birds while we're sitting here. It doesn't seem like there's too much, so I'm going to try and head towards Chitwa Dam to rack up our birds and see what else we can find there. And let's go back across to Brent Leo Smith and see what other feathered friend he's managed to source.
Oh dear, this is a difficult feathered friend, and it's definitely going to be a new species for a lot of people. If it pops out of the grass, you can see the grass moving. There it is, just at the base. Come on, get out of the grass, you little rat! It is an African quail finch. I'm going to try and move a bit closer, Ja. Might spark some movement. Please don't fly far away. Oh, I'm just hoping. There we go. Oh, landed, but still in the grass. There it is. There it is. Oh, it's out. There it is. Oh, there we go. Aren't they pretty little things? African quail finches. How cool is that? Now, I think I've only ever put them on camera once before in the Mara. So this is definitely a new species for a lot of you. They are such pretty little seed eaters. One could say they're seedy. Ha 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 ha. All puffed up from the cold. Now, of course, the most seedy person in the Safari Live team is James Henry, who likes to eat seeds for breakfast. Hampus would like to know, what is the most dangerous bird in Africa? I don't know. The one you put, the eagle who's... I don't know. We don't really have any dangerous birds. Oh no, I'm being an idiot. Of course we do. Ostriches. Ostriches by far the most dangerous bird in Africa. Spurfowl's calling. Let's move. Ostriches are by far the most dangerous bird. A very good family friend of ours used to live next door to our family farm. Got kicked by an ostrich and he had 78 stitches in the inside of his leg. So by far ostrich is the most dangerous bird in Africa. Now I can hear some spurfowls cawing away. Normally they like to do it from a bit of a high point, so I'm trying to check all these little termite mounds up ahead to see. Bye, quail finches, off they fly. Where is the spurfowl calling from? Come on, spurfowls! No such luck. Can't see where they're calling from. They must be down in the grass, but who knows what we're going to find next. That quail finch was such a lovely little find. Not a bird that you get on camera often. They're often very flighty and can be in quite big flocks. Speaking of flocks, what do we have there? You see them, Jar? Are they? I think there might be a bird we've already seen today. No, they're not. No, they are not. That is a nice find this late in the game. Just zoom straight, middle frame. Here we go. A flock of spurwing geese. Out grazing on the grasses. Now that's a really nice find this late in the game. Not something we were expecting to find. There's a lovely big flock of spurwings. Now, while we've got the time on edge, we keep moving, we keep hogging, we see what we can find next. Till someone else finds something, we're just going to do it. Because often with birding, when you're not live, you suddenly see something, take off or go, and by the time you get back to you, it's vanished. So what are we hoping for? We're hoping for scaly spurfowl. We're hoping for red-winged franklin. What else are we hoping for this time of the day? Oh, maybe even we'll see an early Verreaux's eagle owl. We don't know. Oh, marsh owl or grass owl. We are keeping our eyes. Oh, no, pin-tailed whiter, we've seen one. Sorry, pin-tailed whiter. Lilac-breasted roller, we've seen one. Sorry, lilac-breasted roller. We don't have much time left to put this beyond doubt. Beyond doubt. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Stout testicular. We got one already. Brent is wondering, is there a bird species in Africa that's overpopulated? Yes, there is, and it's actually a very, very big problem. And it's not an African bird. It is a bird by the name of the Indian house crow in certain cities, particularly on the east coast of Africa. Dar es Salaam, for example, in Tanzania, the Indian house crow has nearly wiped out all the indigenous bird species. It attacks them. It is really, really bad. The government has actually started an extermination program where they'll pay kids, I think it's about 200 shillings or 500 shillings, Tanzanian shillings, for a dead adult. That is a new one. Whoop! We haven't got. No, we have. Unfortunately, we have. Move out of the way, plain back pipit. And about 100 shillings per egg raided from a nest. So the Indian house crow is highly invasive and taken over large portions of cities on the east coast of Africa. And also the Indian myna, which is a type of starling, which is really bad in South Africa. But I'm going to let Tristan tell you a little bit more about the Indian myna.
Now we still are on our birding mission now that our male lion has gone southwards. We haven't gotten quite to Chitwa just yet. We bumped into another guide, and so we were trying to get all of our information from them and just trying to see what's been going on. So there's a situation where we've been trying to kind of just work out what's happening. It sounds like our leopards that were on Chitwa have moved, but I have spotted something else that we can have a little look at. Seb, do you see straight over there in that big tree there is a bird of prey? Now what bird it is I'm not quite sure just yet. It is a battalier eagle. There we go. I was looking for these guys too. I was hoping that we'd see them along this particular section. They do like to hang around between Leadwood and Gowrie Main, and so I was hoping to find these guys in this area as well. Nice to see. It's just the one. There's normally 3 of them that hang around on Leadwood, so there's 3 kind of adult plumage birds, and this is just the one of them. And I'm surprised we haven't seen more birds of prey this afternoon, given that it's so dreary out here. I would have thought many of them would be down on the ground itself or down in the trees and just taking it very easy like this battalier eagle. So hopefully our fish eagle down in Chitwa Dam will be doing the exact same, but at least that's a nice bird to add on to our list. It seems as though it's all puffed up and trying to stay warm, much like many of the birds this afternoon. The nice thing is though is that the rain has stopped, and so it means that hopefully we will have a situation where some more birds will come out. The problem is it's that late part of the day. It's quite dark and dingy at the moment, which means that, you know, the smaller birds, things like firefinches and waxbills and those kind of things, they're going to be a bit nervous to be out and about at this time. You know, there's going to be owls that'll start flying and nocturnal predators, and so you find that they tend to roost a lot earlier in weather like this than they would normally. So it's going to be tough to find those little birds. I was hoping we'd see a lot more of them early in the drive, but I feel like we've done all right. So it's not been that bad considering the weather that we're having. It seems as though we're doing just fine so far, and Chitwa Dam will be a good one for us. There'll hopefully lots of interesting birds there, and we know that we'll at least get some of the prattencoals. Now, have we got yellow-billed hornbills today? I'm not sure. Are those red-billed or yellow-bills up there? I think they're red-bills actually. I think we've got red-billed hornbills, or yes, so those are both red bills. I think they're already on the list, so we're not going to worry about them too much. They're busy pecking away at the wood trying to get all kinds of little things, although it actually looks like they're cleaning their beaks. The one on top maybe not. They often do this on dead trees or branches that have broken, is that they're going to go in there and they're going to break up little bits and they're going to try and find scorpions that live inside there. And I actually at this very spot have seen a red-billed hornbill eating a scorpion, and so that's a good place for them to have a little look, is inside those sort of broken branches. Is perfect habitat for some of the scorpion species we get here in South Africa, so nice place to look. But unfortunately that's not going to work. Oh, there goes some brown-headed parrots, but they're flying too fast, so don't worry about those. They were just calling in the background and I saw them too late taking off and coming past us. Maybe I'll try and find some quickly before we head down towards Chitwa Dam. Often a lot of brown-headed parrots on this crest area around the marulas and the torchwoods. I seem to see them here quite regularly at this stage. Now, before our eagle was there, I was saying that our leopards on Chitwa seem to have vanished, so I don't know where they've gone. I'm sure they're somewhere close by, maybe just trying to hide out from the rain. I don't think there's any food left there, but maybe we'll get lucky with a last-minute leopard today as well, because it's my last drive before I go on leave. So I'm going on leave tomorrow. I will not be out and about, but it's a very short leave. I'll be back next weekend already, so it's not too long, but I would like to have a leopard before I go. It's been so quiet leopard wise for me this week. Seems James has had a thoroughly good time. He's had Hosana and Tandi and Tumba and all of the characters that we see out. It's been a bit dire in my case. I haven't seen too much, to be honest, so hopefully one of the boys will make an appearance at Chitwa Dam just to have a nice send-off and a good kind of riddance from them until I get back on next weekend. Right, come on birdies, where are all of you? I'm trying to see if we can find some of the ground species. So you do find things like dusky lark, some of your pipit species. They'll be around areas like this, disturbed areas like at Chitwa Dam, and so I'm looking for them. Also a good place for Diedrich's cuckoo, so while we're here we'll listen out for our Diedrich's cuckoo and see if we can find one of them. What else is around here that we can find? Not water species. Just trying to think what other things would be on the open area. It doesn't seem as though there's too much at this stage, although we've got Birchall starling, which is just flying across the screen. You might have seen it take off from the tree, so we're not going to have a look. Oh, sorry, little warthog. I was so busy talking about birds I didn't even see you. There's a little warthog on the road that I may have chased. Oopsie. Sorry, warthog. I didn't mean to. Now, I believe that while we make our way down towards Chitwa Dam, that we're going to send you off to one of my colleagues, the likes of which I am not sure who it is. I have no idea it broke up, but hopefully you'll enjoy whatever they've got to show you.
And I don't have all that much to show you unless we see a bird in the last few minutes. One last ditch attempt to stretch out our lead sufficiently that the Djuma team can't catch up with us in the next hour or so that they have to themselves. I suspect they will though. I can't believe we haven't even managed one ox pecker, which is ridiculous. We nearly did, but then they flew away. But unfortunately the gate is closing. The race is on to get to the top of the hill before it does. Let's see if we can get one last bird. One last bird. And hats off to both the Mara and the Djuma teams, because we both of us, I suppose it actually worked out quite fair, have had to deal with rain, roofs, covers, all of those things that make birding just that little bit harder, a little bit more tricky to spot something. I imagine the clincher will come with Chitwa Dam. But we'll see. We shall see. I imagine Brent and I will be eagerly crowded in final control after the drive so we can examine the total scores. I'm sorry, Faith, I couldn't hear you at all. Pardon? Oh gosh. Oh, it just went down. Now, I didn't do it. You want to know if there are any birds that go through the molting phase. Yes, they all go through the molting phase. Perhaps I've misunderstood. Almost all of them will molt their feathers on a relatively regular basis. Sooty chat or black flycatcher, it's really now very difficult to tell. Ah, sooty chat. Sooty chat flopping about around the termite mound. Awesome. So a sooty chat to add to our collection. I didn't do it. All of them will go for the molting phase. Perhaps I misunderstood your question, but they all do. And of course, birds regularly replace their plumage as well. But when they're young, they lose those little altricial fluffy feathers and they grow their proper cover of primary feathers where they are able to fly. And of course, the juvenile raptors will also molt. Now, I don't want to keep you for too long from Tristan. He's busy eating up our lead. Let's go and see what he has for you now.
It is a type of gun, right?
Yeah. Well, this is a turnout for the books. I didn't expect to see these, and there's not just one. There looks like 3 or 4 of them. They look like young grey-headed gulls that we've got here. I'm not 100% sure. I want to double-check because this might be a different bird altogether. We get a lot of birds that come through here when we get rain, and so this might be a unique bird for us. I'm just trying to have a look. It does look like juvenile grey-headed gulls, though. I want to double-check because, obviously, there are quite a few of different ones that you get out here, and there's a grey-headed gull. I'm just trying to see. There's a little pied wagtail while I look for my grey-headed gull, but I'm not 100% sure those are grey-headed gulls. They've got red legs, which is typical of the grey-headed gull, but that marking around the head looks different, and they've got a very sharp beak on them. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they're one of the tern species. Let's just have a little look. I don't know. Is James in final control there, Kirsty? Because I'm trying to just think of what other bird this could be. Trying to just see. It does look grey-headed gull-like, but I'm not 100% sure now. There's also other things called whiskered terns that you sometimes get as well. Now, whether or not they occur here, I'm not quite sure. I'm just trying to pull them up and see. They could very well be whiskered terns. I'm just trying to find... Indeed, they are whiskered terns by the looks of things.
This one?
There we go. It's got a black-head. Yes, there we go. Whiskered tern. It is most definitely. Thanks, Seb. Now you've got the adult, I can definitely say whiskered tern. So that might be a new one for some of you, but they do occur here. I have seen them at Chitwa Dam before, so it is a very cool bird. And so I'm surprised that they're here. What is that now on the right? What have we got there? What are you? Is that a cutthroat finch? It is. So there's a cutthroat finch. Oh, Chitwa Dam is churning out the birds this afternoon. It's wonderful to see. So whiskered tern, cutthroat finch, which is a nice one. We haven't seen one of those for quite some time. There's the nest of the red-billed buffalo weavers, but I'm surprised at these whiskered terns. I have no idea where they've come from. I also have no comms whatsoever. I can't actually hear anything at all. There we go. So I believe we must link across to Brent. So while I can hear something, let's quickly jump across to him and see what else he's got on that side.
Well, this is the last bird before I have to put the pedal to the metal and get up the hill. It is a northern ant-eating chat. There we go. And a lovely little one. Could be a new bird species for a lot of you. So it's not... They look very similar to the sooty chats, but the pale is down on the bottom of the wing, not on the shoulder. And you only really see it when they fly. But there we go. A northern ant-eating chat for the win. Okay, now we have to rush. I'm not lying. We really do. We're a bit lower. Jamie's already up there somewhere. Okay. Northern ant-eating chat, off we go. So we're coming close to the end of, well, the Mara part of the safari. Tristan's still got about an hour or so to try up his game, but I think we've done enough here in the Masai Mara. Weather and signal and and internet and all sorts of issues have kept us from getting to what I thought was a reasonable total, which would have been between about 70 today. But we're going to have to wait and see till the end of Djuma Drive who wins. So from us here in the Mara, from Jahawi and myself, Toodaloo, bon nuit, bon arrive.
All right, we have a wattled starling preening itself in the tree here. Absolutely fantastic. Another one for our list. And then up to the left of the top of the screen there, we also have some red-billed buffalo weavers. Not quite sure if we've ticked those off yet. And then, do you hear the cuckoo? Do you see him, Viam? No, there's a cuckoo. Sounds like a Levalance cuckoo. Oh, there's a gray go-away bird. Fantastic, with its melanistic pigments. The gray go-away bird's the tree that we had the wattled starling in. There's a red-billed hornbill, which we've already done. It sounds like he's up and to the left a little bit. I'm just trying to see if we can see him. Don't know if we're allowed to count it if we just hear it. I have a feeling we have to actually physically see it. I think he's more left. Somewhere maybe in there. I could hear him. I just can't quite see him. The cuckoos tend to hide quite a bit, unfortunately, for us. But we found a little spot that birds keep flying in and out. So other than the red-billed buffalo weavers, we've also seen hurricane thrush. I was actually hoping he was going to head back in here. And so we could see him again. Can you see the hurricane thrush?
No, I can see the cuckoo.
You can see the cuckoo. Is he behind there? Sorry, we're just trying to get... Oh, there, I can see the bottom of its tail, I think, VM. Just there. Yeah, fantastic. You can see the cuckoo, the little white on the tail there, and then coming up and then there into sort of the side of his head. We finally are getting a cuckoo on screen. Absolutely fantastic. So it sounded earlier like a Levalence, also known as a striped cuckoo, but I can't see the front here. There's just that little white on the wing pattern. But I'm pretty sure I'm correct in my assertion. Yeah, with that little white to the bottom. Oh, okay. So Jacobins and Levalence are very easily confused. You need to see the front side of them, and then also their call. Jacobins will say it's call, and Levalence sounds like it's like it's smoked too much. But now that I can actually see the bottom of the tail more with that white, it's a Jacobin's cuckoo, excuse me, Jacobin's cuckoo. See the white to the very bottom of the tail? The Levalence doesn't have the white tip at the bottom there, just the Jacobins. So that's what we're going to call there, Jacobin's cuckoo. How fantastic. All right, let's go over to Tristan and see if he has any more birds for us while I wait for these brown-headed parrots that I could hear in the background pop out.
Right, so we do have more birds, Noel. We've got a spoonbill on the left and a yellow-billed woodstalk on the right. Now, that's the first one I've seen at Chitwa Dam in quite some time, so nice to see both of these birds. And like I say, Chitwa Dam is just producing all kinds of random things this afternoon, and like I said, it was going to be the sort of our trump card up our sleeve, because there's just so much that happens around this dam, bird-wise, that is a great place to come and bird, especially if you've got a bit of a storm that's rolled in. Often these cold fronts and windy, rainy weather will bring new birds into the area, and so the terns, this woodstalk, the spoonbill are all great for this particular section. Now, our little three-banded plovers also came past at one point, red-billed buffalo weavers. Have we got those? I think yes, we do have those. I think you guys did them this morning, Seb. So we've got little three-banded plovers on my right-hand side, and particularly our little three-banded plover chick that we were watching for what we saw it as an egg, and then again as a little baby we've watched it kind of grow up, and it was bouncing around here somewhere. There it is at the back. There's mom or dad, one of the two of them, and it's running towards the chick. The chick is on the side. There you go, Seb, well done. That's a lot faster than they look, isn't it? And then the little chick is running towards the edge. Don't jump off the edge there, little one. You're a bit small to be going off the edge. There it goes. It's just gone to the right there. Can't get them, so you can just see them slowly moving. So that's another one to add. I wonder what the score is at the moment. We maybe need to tally up our score and see what we've got. I'm going to just go forward here because I want to see if any of the green-backed herons are around, because they should also be fairly nearby. And then once we've checked this section, I'm going to go behind the dam wall and go and look for our night heron quickly, and maybe pygmy kingfishers. They should also be behind the dam wall. Oh, there's our little pied wagtail again. Hello, little pied wagtail. We'll let you kind of get off. It's a very cool bird. You can see it's a young pied wagtail. Is it a pied wagtail, or is it a grey wagtail? No, it's a young pied wagtail. Yes, it is. There we go. It's not quite old enough just yet, so you do get grey wagtails as well, and I haven't seen any of them here at the moment, but little pied wagtail is just getting its coloration, so it's still got its juvenile colors in the form of its greys. The thing is, there's lots of waterbuck and impalas behind the dam wall, so I don't think there'll be any predator, but I'm pretty sure our night herons will be there. Given the conditions, they're probably down below. I also want to drive the southern section towards the southern part of the dam wall, because it's a good place for Birchall's kukul, which I don't know if we've got on our list just yet. Also a lot of bush shrikes that hang around here, so it'll be a nice place to double check and to have a little look. No green-backed herons yet. No fish eagle. Doesn't seem like there is anything around this particular section. Just want to double check here quickly. I'm also surprised we're not seeing the pied kingfishers. I would have expected them to be out and about on a day like today. Oh, there's a baby hippo though. Look at how cute that is. Is that another new one? Because that looks absolutely tiny. And it's right in the shallows. Look how small that little one is. Hey, little one. Now, I'm not sure if this is one of our new ones or not, but this looks very small to me. I mean, there are a couple of other little babies around here as well. I can see another small one, and I saw a baby hippo way off in the distance, and so I don't know. I know Noel saw a new one. We had little baby Boo that was born behind the dam wall. So as to which hippo this is very difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not easy to sex a hippo. But look, it's trying to climb on Mom's back, but I think it's battling to get the leverage to actually get up and over and to where it needs to be. Shame, little one. But that mother will be easy to identify. She's got a nice little cut on her back now, so that will be able to kind of monitor as to whether we get any more. You can see there's a little fly that's pecking away at that tissue as well, and a nice long cut. Yes, good afternoon. Look at that though. So that was Mom that made that noise, but how cute is that little one? Hello, little one. It must be the best weather for a hippo. It kind of can run around all over the place. Although you can see it's trying to push up over Mom just so that it doesn't have to hold its own head up. Shame, are you tired, little baby? You can see the eyes are kind of closing every now and then, and breathing. Shame. It looks as though it's very sleepy. Did we wake you up? I'm sorry. Very cute though. I love baby hippos. They've got such expressive little faces. There's always kind of some motion. They almost look as though they're smiling all the time, and then they've got these little sort of nostrils and massive eyes and those small ears, and they generally are quite pink around their ears and their muzzle areas. It's really wonderful little animals to see. I really enjoy, and we've had such a wonderful last few months. I've thoroughly actually enjoyed being around over the last couple of months. It's been a longer stint than I've done in a while, and it's just been great though, because we've had such a change from the drab, dry brown to the nice summer greens. We've had rain, we've had lots of baby animals, and it's been a really joy-filled last couple of weeks, particularly with all the little babies that we've managed to find and follow and see them progress in life. It's been such a wonderful experience. You can see the rain is starting to fall now, a lot heavier than it was. You can see all the drops in the water itself, and then the rest of the pod of hippos there off to the left. And I was hoping to find one or two other birds hanging around this section, but it seems as though nothing's going on. Laura, you say you love it when they spin their ears. Well, it is very cool to witness. I love when they do it as well, and it's great when they kind of turn them and go underwater and then up again, and then as they spin they kind of throw that water out, and that's the reason they're doing it, is just to stop water going into their ears themselves. Now, I did see a bird fly. Oh no, that's not going to work. The conditions are not great now to do a bit of birding, because the sort of browner birds are disappearing with this light the second we sit here. But anyway, we're going to sit a little bit longer. I'm going to try to see if I can find some of the swallow species while we enjoy our little baby hippo. And I know Kirst is asking me to link to somebody, but I really am not hearing her very well. So whoever it is, I hope they are having a better afternoon with their comms than what we are.
No. Oh, hi everyone. So we've been chasing these brown-headed parrots, and we got them, and just as we got them, he flew off again. So we're just trying to see if we could see them again, but unfortunately they've gone farther off. So we're gonna head down a little bit. Oh, you cheeky brown-headed parrots. We're gonna head down a little bit more and see if we can find any more birds for us. Do we have a tally on the birds thus far? Not yet. Not a tally yet. Okay. Birding. So it's interesting because it is a little bit chillier. It is starting to rain again, but there's still a lot of insect activity that's out. And also, I mean, we've got a few fruits that are going on and a little bit of flowers. So we are still getting some nice birds. I think this is just the absolute trickiest birding big day I have ever done, trying to get all of these on camera and switching between all four of us presenters. It's been really amazing thus far, and the camera work, as you guys can see, has been very, very, very good. So, there's a bird at our 9 o'clock Vildi. Let's have a check. It's a little bit hard to see. It is a starling. Can't quite tell from here if it's a greater blue-eared or a Cape Glossy, unfortunately, because I cannot see the eye color. Oh, I think we're going to have to not... Can you see a yellow eye, Vildy? Vildy says he can see a yellow eye. Sorry, say again, Kirst? Sorry, for some reason my comms today are not 150%, so I'm not sure if we've already done the greater blue-eared starling, but Vildy saw a yellow eye ring there, so we can call that a greater blue-eared, but it might already be on the list for us. Oh, Chris said we've done all the starlings. Okay, we've done all the starlings, so we'll leave the starlings alone. And we will keep carrying on, trying to see what we can find. So our lions from earlier, I'm so happy that you guys got a visual of that one male lion with Tristan. We were hearing two lions at one point. We were hearing one farther off and one quite close to us. We haven't picked up on the second male lion, unfortunately. I think we just missed him. It's a little bit tricky trying to get into the areas where we were hearing him. We have, right at our 12 o'clock, birds never want to sit still. Let's see if they want to come back out. Looks like a rattling cisticula. Not sure if we have a rattling cisticula already, although I would imagine that we do because it's quite a common bird in this area. Kirst is saying we do. Kirst, I can hear you now loud and clear, so all right, we will carry on from that one. We had a black-headed oriole earlier. We could hear it calling, but I haven't seen any Eurasian orioles yet today. That would be a good one to add to our list. I know that we've got pied kingfisher, probably have woodland kingfisher. We've been seeing a lot of them. Don't know if we've got striped kingfisher yet. That would be a nice one to add. Basically what I'm doing now is I'm checking sort of little areas where there's lots of bit of scrub around closer to the ground, and then also up into the trees as well where there's some loose bark, just trying to find anything that's going to be hunting. I'm basically looking for insect-eating birds at the moment, because that's going to be our best bet considering the type of weather that we have. And of course, we're always still looking for our leopard and possible lion and elephants and everything else. But because it's Birding Big Day, the focus is definitely on the birds themselves. Curious about how often we have birding days. Brent, we have it once a year. Birding Big Day is once a year, and so that's why today we have been focusing on this. Now, normally what would happen, and what I've done with friends of mine before, is we start early in the morning and we go out all day and into the night, and you try and tally up any birds as you can see and hear, and then you mark them down. You have to apply ahead of time, and then you combine them and see country did the... I can't remember who won last year with the number, but it was a ridiculous amount, something like 200. I don't know. It was a huge amount of birds. So that's why I keep saying for us it's just a little bit different. Our numbers will be a little bit smaller because we need to catch them on camera so everybody can see. James Richard, I'm sure you're still watching because I believe you're doing the tally for us. I don't know if you know what would have been the tally for last year for South Africa in general. And I'm sure I can look it up later and let you all know tomorrow. I can hear Kirst trying to get a hold of me, so I'm thinking maybe you're trying to go back to Tristan, so I think let's link over to him.
Back. Well, we're just at the back of Chitwa Dam wall at the moment to try and see if I can find our night heron. But what we have managed to find is two species, a little bee-eater and a hummerkop. So that adds another two to our list, which is fantastic news. So even though we haven't found the night heron yet, I will find it. I know it's here. At least we've added another two. And so that's really good news for this afternoon. And we've actually had a really great afternoon when it's come to Just considering the foul weather that we've got and the real sort of dreary, drab conditions and the harshness of what we're trying to deal with, it really actually has gone fairly swimmingly, to be honest. Now, I've just spotted the night heron. Seb, if you come out for me, you're going to have to turn straight left on a branch that is just overhanging the water. So you just keep coming left. I'll guide you towards where it is. Okay, now I'll go straight in from where you are. So somewhere there. A little bit down. No, I can't see it there. Maybe it's a little close. Just go back a bit. I'm going to roll forward for you. Sorry, Seb. I'm going to roll there. Okay, now straight in from where you are. There's a fallen over branch. There it is. Just turn to face us now. So there's the black-crowned night heron. That's also behind the dam wall. So that's really why I came behind here, is for that individual, because we don't get them anywhere else on Djuma that I know of yet. I haven't found them anywhere else. There's some Aramark babblers calling as well. Oh, actually, sorry, I lied. Those are green wood hoopies that are calling. But nice to see this guy. The more we come here, the more relaxed it gets. And I'm thoroughly enjoying actually seeing the night heron. It's not something you generally see that often. And so when you kind of get a chance to see one, it's always good to just spend a bit of time and have a little look. And they are beautiful birds with that black crown, that bright red eye, and those yellow feet. And it's amazing how well they camouflage. When that bird had its back to us, it just looked like a little log. That's all it is. And just thought I'd have a little quick look around with the binos, and it kind of gave it away. But very cool to see. All right, Seb, let's roll forward and see what other little birds are lurking. I was also thinking that we might get paradise flycatchers in here. It's a good place for them. What's this above? Hold on. Sorry, Seb, I think I might have seen something. Let's have a look. No, that's just a branch. So that's not what we're looking for. We want to try and find birds, not branches. I thought it was maybe a little pearl-spotted owlet. Now, sorry, Kirst, I apologize. Please, can you just repeat that? I heard Jackie, and that's it, unfortunately. So, Jackie, how many of these birds are migratory? Jackie, difficult to say. I haven't really counted, but quite a few that we've seen today are migratory. There's our other black-crowned night heron, the actual other partner, and that's probably the best view we're ever going to get of a black-crowned night heron. It is right out in the open. That is absolutely beautiful to see. How cool is that? Especially with the rain falling on all sides, with the droplets. It almost looks like the water's kind of sparkling around this little star of the show. But that is very cool to see. I absolutely love being behind this dam wall. There is so much that goes on here, and particularly Chitwa Dam. I could spend all day here, and there seems to be, wherever you turn, if you just look carefully and you look hard enough, you tend to be able to find all kinds of interesting things all around. So it's a wonderful place to spend time, and like I say, we've been absolutely spoiled. We've been managed to see some incredible things behind this dam wall. Now, while we're sitting here, I'm just going to scan around, because it might be a good place, like I was saying to you, to spot things like little pygmy kingfishers. They'll often spend some time in these particular areas, and so it's a good place just to have a look for them. And maybe, just maybe, on some of these little palm fronds or bulrushes and other little things that we've got. Not palms, actually, that I lie, is not what we are looking at. They are all reeds that we've got there. Sometimes you'll find little pygmy kingfishers sitting on them. So I'm just scanning around with my binos while we're having a little look at the night heron. But that is a very cool picture to see. It's not something that we get to see that often. But no pygmy kingfisher today. It's the only bird that seems to have let us down over the last little bit, because everybody else has come out of hiding and shown themselves to us today, which is, I mean, we've been so spoiled. We've had an absolutely fabulous time trying to find all the birds today, and we've been spoiled considering the weather conditions. Like I say, we've really had a good time of it, and we've really been lucky with what we've been able to see. There's still a few more birds at Chitwa Dam that we need to go and get, the green-backed herons and the village weavers. Right, let's go forward a little bit further. I just want to scan around. Now, Brent, you want to know if there's a bird species that is overpopulated in Africa. Brent, oh, hello, little bushbuck. So there's a little baby bushbuck. I haven't actually seen a bushbuck on drive for quite some time. I see them around camp, but on drive I haven't seen them for a long time. So there's a little mom and her baby. Unfortunately, they're going to disappear. But Brent, thinking about bird species, I suppose red-billed quellias are numerous. Whether they're overpopulated is anyone's guess. You tend to find it's more birds that unfortunately have been introduced into areas that tend to be the ones that are overpopulated. So I'm just trying to think if Indian miners, most definitely. So they're the bird that has come in, unfortunately, is a bird that shouldn't be in South Africa, but actually is. And so they're a bit of a nuisance. But other than that, not really. I mean, we have a situation where all the wild birds that occur here, that are birds that naturally occur, are birds that are controlled by natural predators. So most of our birds are actually, unfortunately, the other way around, in that they are declining rather than increasing in number. But I'm absolutely loving this night heron in the rain. It's just such a cool image. I just can't believe it's actually so relaxed that we can get as close as we've gotten, and it's just sitting there and not going anywhere. It's definitely the best view we've had of this night heron, and it's sitting patiently waiting for some sort of morsel that it can then run forward and grab, much like what we've seen from the green-backed herons. The herons all employ a very similar hunting strategy, where those bodies are all kind of compressed in, that long neck will shoot out with that piercing beak, and they'll grab whatever they're looking for. But how cool is that? Absolutely beautiful. I'm very happy to see that, I must be honest. I didn't think we would get one as out in the open as what we have as well. Now I can hear a brown-hooded kingfisher. Where are you? Somewhere behind me is a brown-hooded kingfisher. Right, Seb, let's turn around and see if we can find said brown-hooded kingfisher. Does it count if we can hear them, Kirst? No, it's got to be on camera here. Yeah. Otherwise we would have had brown-hooded parrots, or brown-headed parrots, not brown-hooded. I'm thinking of the kingfisher. Where are you? I can hear you. Oh, there it went. I just saw it fly. So let's try and find it now. The problem is it's flown into the thickest vegetation we've got here. So let's just go around. I might be able to see it from the other side. Come on, little bird. Stay out in the open for me so I can see you. Birding with a vehicle is never easy, because unfortunately the vehicle makes a lot of noise and birds then tend to fly away. Come on, where are you? Grey-headed... grey-hooded would be nice as well. Actually, I was just thinking about that as well, but the brown-hooded should be here somewhere. Okay, what's that bird up top there? Is that a little bee-eater again? So on the dead tree there's a bird. I think it's a little bee-eater, just looking by the bill shape and the kind of shape of the bird itself. Yes, little bee-eater. Come on, call again for us, Kingfisher. I saw you briefly flying over. This is the problem with where we are, is it's a little bit on the dense side, so it's making life quite tough. Okay, I'm going to go forward a bit more. I saw the kingfisher come into this particular section where I am now. There goes the bee-eaters. And then this lighter kingfisher just disappears, particularly the darker kingfishers. You know, something like a woodland is very bright and bright blue, and so it kind of stands out, but the others are quite difficult to see. No, I'm afraid we're not going to get that right. No. And no Burchell's Kukul either, which I'm surprised about. I thought maybe we'd get them as well in this particular section, but it seems as though we're not going to. So let's carry on. Let's go check up towards the dam again. Like I say, there's a few bird species we haven't got just yet. Now, while I try and get to those bird species that I was just mentioning now, let's go back across to Noelle and see how her afternoon's going and whether or not she's had any luck with some feathered friends.
Okay, so we're still on the search. It sounds like Tristan is really nailing the birds. Where he is, very, very, very good. I'm actually now changing my search a little bit from the insect eaters into trying to find perching raptors, because it's going to be dark soon. That's making me nice and refreshed. Set themselves on top of a tree or perch themselves a bit. We're coming up to Treehouse Dam. We'll also see what sort of birds are around Treehouse Dam for us. And as well, my nemesis Leopard he left a big surprise for us this morning on the road. Some of his scat, but hasn't popped up, so you never know. He might decide to do an actual last-minute leopard and show himself. So last night after we got off of camera, shame, I made Seb drive around for like another 15 minutes because we knew he was there, and then we got And the birds are in some cool to the and Tingana. So he's still my nemesis, but that's okay. We'll get to at some point. So we are almost to Treehouse, as I said. There, and we'll be there. And hopefully we'll have a few surprises on our hands. We've got impalas. Not really a surprise, but always nice to see. And I can hear some cheep, 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 cheep. Sounds like blue wax bills. We have our blacksmith lapwings, which I believe are already on our list. Oh, I'm sorry, is the pole. So we've got our rain hat on. Do you have it there, Vildy? Thanks. Because it's raining. So excuse the poles there. So there's our blacksmith lapwing, and I could hear the blue wax bills. Ooh, Vildy, I actually think they're just in front of us. You see these little scrub branches? Yes, somewhere in there. I could just see them hopping around. There's the blue wax bill there. Absolutely perfect. Tiny, tiny, tiny little birds. They're amazing. They make these really small nests inside of these thorny bushes. Ooh, caught something. There's your kill for the day, everybody. And now, of course, he's hiding to eat it. They make these nests very, very small and intricate inside of thorn trees with little bits of grass, very messy, sort of about this big, about the size of an orange. And they nest inside of there. Some more impala running down. I'm just trying to listen a little bit and see if I can hear anything. Oh, sorry. So I think we just want to head back towards this lapwing with the little chick there. Is he underneath? Oh, how cute. Resting there under Mum. Can you guys see? Can you see the big legs and the little legs together? Hiding from the rain, and probably from us as well. At one point I was seeing 3 little ones here, but the past couple times I've been, I've just seen the one. So I think the other 2 unfortunately did not quite make it. I can hear some other birds in the background. Just lots of frogs, but a little bit farther off. I'm not quite sure if you all can hear, but I'm hearing just this side. We'll see what we can do, but let's head over to Tristan and get some more birds with Trist, and then I will keep birding this side and we'll get back to us just now.
They're still chasing each other around. Now, we have got Diedrich cuckoos that are flying around, so they've just landed in front there, Seb. Let's try and get a little closer and see if we can get them. So that'll be another one to add to the list. Where have you landed? So that dead tree there, Seb, I'm not sure which branch. I can't see them now, but I think top middle is where they might be. So there we go. I can see them straight in. Go straight in, straight in, straight in. There they are. So there's the Diedrich cuckoos that are flying around, which is a nice bird to see as well. And it was one that we thought we'd get at Chitwa Dam. They love this particular jackalberry and then this dead tree. And they're flying around, chasing each other all over the place. It's wonderful to watch them, actually. They're quite agile little flyers. And I wonder that they're difficult to get on camera, but nice to see them nonetheless, and to have them around. I was hoping that we would get both of them, and then there they go, off they go. So you see how they're chasing themselves all over the place. And gone, disappeared. Right. What else do we need, Seb? Our green-backed herons. They were here and they flew away from us, so that's very naughty. I'm going to have to try and find them again somewhere in this general vicinity. Still haven't found our collared pratincoles yet. I'm surprised they're not around. Maybe this drab, dreary weather, they're not interested in being close by to us. But we might as well do our village weavers while we're here, because they should be around. And there's also black crakes that might be here, so that's another one. So Scarlet, you're wondering what the most elusive bird is that we get. Well, Scarlet's, it's difficult to say. There's the black crake, so it's just straight in front of us. Seb, you see it going over the island there, where the green bush is. So just go straight in on the green bush there. Straight in there, just to the right. Alright, there it goes. You see it disappearing? It just disappeared over the back. Does that count, Curse? Because I feel like that should count. It was a brief glimpse, I know, but it was a glimpse of a little black crake disappearing. Hopefully somebody saw it, other than me, and won't think that I'm completely mad. Now, there's some village, or spotted-backed weavers that are flying around. Village weaver is the correct name. They're all landing on my right-hand side is because they're busy building nests. Hopefully our little black crake will come out again, and I'll be able to show you. Seb, let me move that bar out your way. So Seb's got to deal with bars and all kinds of other nonsense, so let me get that out the way. There's the black crake now, right out in the open. Sorry, Seb. But there we go, a little black crake with its red feet and its bright yellow beak. Another one of the beautiful bird that doesn't get seen all that often, so really wonderful to see that too. It's also disappeared over. What was that? Was that a black flycatcher? Looked like it. Doesn't have that big fork in its tail, did it? Let's see when it lands. It's going to land all the way there. Difficult to say. It's landed on the dead tree, but I'm not going to be able to see from the angle that we're at. Sorry, Seb, it's almost impossible to see its tail. Nope. So we'll just try and find it again just now. But there's our village weavers that we were talking about. So they don't have as much black on the face that the southern masked weaver that we saw. This one kind of, the black starts at the top of the beak and then comes round and down the face, whereas the southern masked has got quite a thick black band over the top of the beak, and that's how you can tell the difference. Generally also, village weavers like to nest over water like what these guys are doing, and so that's how you can also utilize it and try and kind of distinguish between the two of them. But very cool to see nonetheless them building their nests. This is new sets that are being built at the moment. We know that they were building a frenzy here a few weeks ago, and now they're starting again, and those guys have got a long way to go. You can see the older nests are the ones that are all brown and the newer ones that are being constructed. Now there is a different weaver species in amongst them. So if you look at most of those brown nests, look at the length of the tunnel that goes into the bulbous shape of the nest. It's a very short length, but one of those at the back end you see has got a very long tunnel. Now that's how you can also ID weavers, is from those different types of nests that they build. Now that could be, I'm not 100% sure, but it could be for a lesser mast weaver or a southern mast. I can't remember now which one has got the longer sort of length tunnel like that. I'll have to go back and double check, but still nice to see. You can see the comparison between the one on the left that's brown and dry from a village weaver and the one on the right, which is a different species altogether. Much longer funnel that goes into the nest area itself, so very cool to see. Right, Seb, I'm going to go around the island just a little bit because I want to see if I can spot a jacana from here, because jacanas are also around Chitwa Dam, and that would be another good bird to add. I feel like we've had a good afternoon, Seb. What do you think? Good birding afternoon. We've had a male lion as well. We're going to get a leopard shortly too, just to add to our incredible day. There's also a little baby hippo there that we're going to show you shortly. So this is a different hippo to the one we saw earlier, that's for sure. Where is our jacana? I don't see it. But say before the hippo, if you can just go on the left hand side here, there's a bird that's walking along the edge of the water, just in the fringe there. You can see it going out, that one at the back. Yeah, that one. Now what is that? Is that our common sandpiper? Turn. Or is it the wood sandpiper that James saw earlier? No, wood sandpiper. You can see the white on the over the eye, and there's a little three-banded that's chasing it. That's naughty three-banded plover. Don't chase each other. There's more three-banded plovers. It's always good though when you get to Chitwa Dam and you're on the edges like this, just to scan along the shore bank, and maybe sometimes you get lucky with different birds that might be around. Sometimes you just overlook things a little bit. What I am super surprised about is that we haven't seen any kingfishers in the form of the pied kingfishers, nor have we seen any of our pratincoles or swallows. Now swallows are generally birds we see a lot of in this area. What are those on top? Are those red-billed oxpeckers? Or are those just branches? I think they're oxpeckers. Anyway, we're going to carry on looking around Chitwa Dam, see what else we find, and I believe Noel has got a feathered friend, so let's jump across before it flies away.
Hello, we've got some weavers, but it doesn't, I actually think it looks like a female spectacled weaver. You see that line through the eye there, Vildy? I'm thinking it's a female spectacled weaver. I'm just going to check my book quickly. Weavers are not my strong point, especially when they're out of breeding colors. Let me just triple check. Are they still there? Yeah, it looks like that to me. I don't know if anyone else that's watching has maybe a different idea, but that's what I would say. Was it a village weaver? Why are we saying village weaver? Out of curiosity. There's no... Oh, see, on my drawings with the village weaver, it's not as yellow as that. Interesting. So, Vildi, then the first guess was correct. Very, very interesting. All right. Well, there we go. Village weavers. I'm so sorry. Just say for me one more time, Kirst. I got that Scarlett was asking a question. Scarlett, I'm so sorry. For some reason, I think it has to do with the rain. Our radios are not acting very kind to us today, but I'm sure it was a bird type question, and I did hear it was from you. Oh, what is the first bird that I see in the mornings? Scarlett, to sing in the mornings, to sing. Scarlett, every morning is different from the next. So, for instance, this morning, I think the first bird I heard was a guinea fowl, but the morning before that, it was a red-chested cuckoo. So, I hear something different every morning. And it also just depends on what area you're in and what's the habitat. Look, it's sunny, kind of. We're driving towards the sun. We're driving away from the rain and towards the sun. Hoping that we fare a little bit better with that. What do we have in the road coming up? I've been looking, I keep hearing Shelley's Franklins, and then every time I try to find you guys one, it's not working. So here we have a crested Franklin, which we've already done with Tristan. Sorry, little crested Franklin, I like you a lot, but you're not on our list. Alright, Tristan's at Chitwa Dam, and it sounds as if he's got a lot of bird species that are coming to that side, so let's head back to him.
Now, there's our green-backed heron that we were looking for. That's in its typical familiar pose over the last few weeks, is hunting at this time of the day. It's just around sunset time now, and it is the perfect time for a kingfisher to start coming out and start its afternoon of hunting. It's much like I say, a lot of our predators, they seem to get going at this dusk time. It's the perfect time for them to come along the shore and stalk. And with this disturbance on the water from the rain, I reckon that these guys are going to be fairly busy and hopefully quite successful. So if we just sit and watch them for a little bit longer, we might get lucky and we might be able to see one darting into the water like we've seen over the past few weeks and maybe catching out a little fish. You see how it gets low? Look at that. Look how it goes into stalk mode. So carefully placing the feet, poising itself, almost being like a cocked rifle in a way. It kind of gets all that energy. Look, it's going to go dashing forward. No, it's decided to hold back. So they go from that position where they're low and they're crouched, and then they shoot forward, and so, no, it's deciding to reposition. And isn't that similar to a cat, the way that it moves? I keep saying this, but it amazes me just how similar these birds are to some of the cats that we see in this area. Is that the way that it gets low and the way that it kind of creeps along, and it just gets itself completely poised, and then it watches patiently, and it exercises extreme patience to be able to then come along and grab whatever it's looking for. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch these guys. I thoroughly have enjoyed watching our greenbacked herons over the past few weeks and months. Very cool to see. Are you going to strike forward for us? Let's see, it's still low to the ground, and I wonder if it's keeping a low profile just to try and stop fish being able to see it. I would imagine it's much like, I suppose, if you go fishing in a very still water, you want to try and keep yourself as low as possible, because otherwise you're easily visible, and therefore you'll find all kinds of different things will come along and try and kind of, chase away from, you'll get them to sort of what's the word now? I've forgotten the word. Come on, Tristan, English, you'll get this right eventually, but they scatter from you, and so that's maybe why it gets a little bit lower, is so that it doesn't have to worry about being able to be seen, and then it can launch these ambush attacks from the edge of the water. But it is fascinating. Like I say, thoroughly enjoyed watching these herons go about their business. It's almost as captivating and riveting as watching something like a leopard stalk. The only thing is that you just can't see how close the prey is. But look at that. There we go. Did it grab? It did. Look at that. Did you see it manage to get a fish? How cool is that? So there we go, a bit of patience and perseverance has paid off. That's very cool. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It's, like I say, it's one of those really cool things, and every time we watch them, they seem to have a really good success rate. It's amazing how often they manage to catch. I thoroughly enjoy watching these guys, and I wonder how many fish they take in a day. It begs that question, because they must hunt in the mornings and the afternoons, much like what we see from cat predators. I would imagine it's a very similar situation, so really cool to see, and I thoroughly enjoyed seeing that. Now, Seb, if you can just go onto the edge of this island for me, because there's something else. I know we've seen these blacksmith lapwings and they've been kind of repeated over the afternoon, but just on the edge of the island, go a little bit to your left. There is a bird, and I wonder if it's sitting on eggs. So it looks as though it's down on the ground. I think it must have eggs there, so that's very cool, and something to monitor over the next few weeks while I'm away. Maybe some of the other guides will have a little look and kind of keep it in mind, because it's definitely sitting on something. They don't sit like that unless they have eggs around. Now, we haven't forgotten about, we've seen mammals, we've seen birds, but there's one member of the sort of animal kingdom that we haven't really focused on today, and that is the reptilians. But I've spotted a reptilian, one of our crocodiles is around, so just at the base of that dead tree, Seb, in the water, there's a crocodile just lurking over there. And the reason my attention got drawn to it was because the sandpipers, so those wood sandpipers, were dive bombing it, but there's our crocodile just drifting along, and it seems as though the hippos and the crocs have done a little swap as to who's going to be where. What has surprised me today is no swallows or swifts. I was hoping to see both. I think they're fairly active. I was actually saying to Seb, I'm pretty sure they're going to be really active this evening, for the simple reason that when we get rain like this, there's going to be winged owlets, and winged owlets are obviously termites that come out of their mounds and with wings, and they fly around, and so the swallows will take advantage of that, and they're going to feed off some of those smaller winged owlets that we get. Right, I think we've exhausted Chitwa Dam's birds at this rate. I think we've managed to kind of get everything that we can. There's, like I say, no pied kingfishers that I can see, but we'll try and have a little look around and see what else we can find. Now, Kirst, I didn't get your question. If you can repeat it for me, please. I'm sorry that the comms are so bad. Do birds digest? Now, that's what I got from that one, but the previous time Kirst fed it through, fish bones is what I got, so I can piece it all together and get, do birds digest fish bones? Yes, they do. So those greenback herons will be able to digest them. Remember, fish bones are fairly soft, particularly in a fish of that size. It's very small. It's like anchovies, essentially, for us as humans. We're able to kind of digest that bone and eat through it and crunch it down. And so birds, when they catch small fish like that, most certainly. Things like fish eagles, when they catch those big kind of catfish that we've seen them catching here at Chitwa Dam, no, they'll just eat around the bone. They're not going to eat the bones itself. They're just going to eat around the skeleton and pick off the flesh as they go along. They certainly aren't going to try and pick off too much in the way of bones, because they won't be able to digest big thick bones like that. But the small little bones on these small minnows and little bream species that they get, most certainly they will be able to get those and digest them for sure. Right, where should I go from here? Let's go quickly past where that carcass was for the leopards and see, maybe we get lucky with the leopard in that general vicinity. And while we do that, let's go back across to my Team Djuma teammate Noel and see if maybe she's got some last minute birds to pull out of her sleeve.
We are still on our search. So we had what ended up being village weavers before. I have a feeling that someone in FC got to see a little bit better than I could, but also at the same point, as I said, weavers are not my strong suit. So in my book they look very sort of very greeny yellow and very pale, and there they were bright, so I was deferring away. But I'm learning something new every day, as we all learn something new every day. It's fantastic. Okay, so we have maybe about 20 minutes of light left with this cloud cover, so we're gonna do our best to find some more of the diurnal species of birds, but then as it's getting darker like this, hopefully we'll start seeing things like nightjars to start adding as well. And maybe, oh, we have what looks like a vulture. Do you need me to back up, Vildy?
Yep.
Tell me a bit more. Tell me when. There we go. Okay, so the light is not the best, but you can see from the way that it's huddled in to itself, and the broad back there, it's facing away from us. I would probably say that this is, ooh, there's the heads coming up. There we go. So sorry, its front, more of its front is towards us. This is very beraggled. I would say this is a white-backed vulture, just because of the what appears to be an old nest in there, and also a little bit of the, let me just check and see if I can see anything from the eye, but yeah, that would be my guess. I mean, having Cape vultures this side is not very, it's a little bit more rare. Shame, he's so cold. Just like us, a little bit wet and a little bit cold, but thank you very much, white-backed vulture. We are adding you to our count for the day. Maybe we can get a better view when I come around the side here. And actually, now that I'm coming around the side a little bit more, you can, there we go, you can see him, and you can see there's actually a mistletoe, what looks like a mistletoe that's under there, and then the nest is just that side. So he was peering at us from underneath. I say he, it could be a she, there we go. It's like, what are you crazy humans doing driving around? Can't you see that it's wet out here? And so he'll stay in that spot for the rest of the evening, and then tomorrow, if it is nice and sunny, he will go and start drying off, put his wings out like this, and then start catching thermals after he's dried off, and head out looking for something to eat. There is a little bit of frog song in the background, definitely indeed, but it's far off in the distance. I'm really surprised you guys could hear, but definitely some frogs chirping in the background. All right, we are going to head around, I think maybe, and see if Shadow will pop up. I don't know where Shadow's gone, but she has not wanted to show herself in a few days. So we are again still looking for all of our birds to do our birding with, but I think it would be nice for our actual last-minute leopard just now to come and pop out. Also, because where we are, the rain has pretty much subsided, so anything that is like a cat that would have been very wet, that doesn't appreciate being wet, is going to start moving. And then of course it's cool, it's going to be very good hunting weather for the cats just now. I'm still hopeful for something like a cheetah, but we haven't seen cheetah on our side of the property, I think, since Tristan had them. When was that, Vildy? A couple of months ago. Must have been. Just before you went on leave, so about a month ago then. 5 weeks. Right around in there. I did see some little francolins pop. Oh, it's our crested francolins again. Why? Where are the cokies and the shellies? Shelley's Franklin has one of my favorite calls. So it sounds like it's saying, I'll drink your beer, I'll drink your beer, I'll drink your beer. And it's one of those ones that gets stuck in your head and will not leave your head. But of course, on the day that you really want to be hearing them, they're not out and about. We might also get lucky with some owls. So we get Varro's eagle owl. Used to be a giant eagle owl. When we get spotted eagle owls, barn owls, grass owls, quite a few Scops owl, white-faced. Yeah, so that barred owlet today made my whole day. That was absolutely fantastic. Got to tick that one off nicely from my list. I'm actually very surprised that we haven't seen more Ooh, crepuscular. Crepuscular birds, Sinak. You're asking if there are any crepuscular birds. So crepuscular means most active at dusk or dawn. So Sinak, a very prominent crepuscular type bird would be a bat hawk. And I've only seen a bat hawk twice, and they come out hunting bats, and they come out at the crepuscular hours, so that sort of twilight hour. That's a good one. There's probably a few more, but they're escaping out of my head. I will have a think about it now and see if any more will pop in while I'm meandering around trying to find you some more birds. If we saw a bat hawk right now, I would be absolutely over the moon, and I would probably scream, "Bat hawk! Bat hawk!" just like I did the first time I saw it. I was with two guys who've been guiding probably about 10 years longer than I have, maybe even a little bit longer for some of them, and we were training some students, and we were having just a little rest on top of this little rock outcrop, and all of a sudden this bat hawk starts coming, and the three of us stood up and we're like, "Oh my goodness, it's so incredible!" And our students had only been guiding students for a couple of weeks, so they hadn't quite gotten into birds yet, and they were like, "Oh, that's great." We're like, "No, you don't understand, it's a bat hawk, it's a bat hawk." But yeah, and then the second time that it happened, I was with some very good friends of mine who love birding, and again, very, very similar type thing with just the sun setting and just a little bit of light left, and here came this bat hawk. All right, so Tristan, I hope, has some more birds for us, so let's head on over to him and see what he has to show us.
Now, we're just checking around the Mulawanini because this is where there was lots of leopard action over the last few days, and so I'm just having a little look. I see lots of tracks from this afternoon, funnily enough, or this morning actually, that seem to have been around here, so maybe little Tumba or Hosana is somewhere around. Now, of course, Jigga, there we go. So Jigga's now slotted into the right gear, which is good news. So I'm just having a little look around under all these kind of bushes with the spotlights, because it's going to be much easier to spot. Unfortunately, I think our birding for the day is pretty much done, other than our nocturnals, so other than things like maybe double-banded coursers or double-banded courser? Bronze-winged courser. I don't know why I said double-banded courser, sorry. Bronze-winged coursers, pearl-spotted owlets, scops owls, those kind of things. Other than them, we're going to struggle, I think, to find too much. Right, now Noelle's got a magpie strike, so she's proving me wrong, so let's jump across to her.
Magpie shrike, yay! Alright, another one for the list. So it is a shrike similar to that redback shrike that Tristan showed you earlier. I'm not quite sure if they had any shrikes up in the Mara for you, but a very thick beak, a stout beak with a little hook at the end, and then this magpie shrike has a very long tail. Oh, good camera. Thanks, Vildy. Check that. Quick. Very long tail, and there tends to be more than one at a time. We did see two just here. I've also seen them sort of singly, but oh, there's the second one up in the corner. Thanks, Vildy. But usually in larger groups. Now, I've seen magpie shrikes dive bombing leopards. I've seen them catching lizards. I've seen them catch frogs. I've seen them go after very large sort of rhino beetles. They're quite vicious little birds. Now, when I say they're going after leopards, I'm not saying they're going after leopards to eat, but I've just seen them sort of chasing at them, very similar to pied crows doing the same thing. Magpie shrikes. Okay, another one for the list. Let's keep moving about and see if we can come up with anything else. I'm still very hopeful that our Djuma list is going to be a nice big list for today. But I can't wait to hear our totals. The one bird I was hoping to show you that hasn't popped up today is a gray-tipped flycatcher, and that's one of my new favorite birds. And I was also hoping, oh, hello, come back. Don't go. It looked like a black-bellied bustard. What do you think, Vildy? I'm pretty sure that was a black-bellied bustard, as it looked way too large for a red-crested coron. Do you have him? Yeah, no, definitely counts. Billy's like, it counts, it counts. And also, this black-bellied bustard is here on this road in this area often. Where'd you go, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky? Oop, there he flies. Yeah, hello, black-bellied bustard. That's definitely who you are. Thanks, Vildy. All right, another one for the list. I like it. I like it a lot. I think the comment was that the birding today has been amazing, and I would agree. It's been so much fun, and it's also been super challenging to do this. So those brown-headed parrots that Vildy and I were tracking for, I don't know, a good 10 minutes, and then just before we can show them to you, they fly off. It's very, very challenging, but it adds in another extra flavor, and I'm super competitive, so I'm just overly excited about this whole thing. I like to win, but, you know, it's also the fun of the experience as well. I'm not one of those crazy, crazy competitive people that gets upset if they don't win, but I do enjoy the adrenaline rush that you get as you're busy doing something like this. Alright, well, while I'm searching for something else to show you, let's go over to Tristan, who is a much better birder than I am and loves it just as much, and see what he has in store.
Right, so I'm not sure what Noel had to say there. Unfortunately, the comms today have been a bit of a nightmare. But before we kind of finish up for our afternoon, we need to know what the score is, because, well, it was a hotly contested contest, and I feel like it's very, very close between the two locations. I feel like both sides have put in a seriously good effort, and so it'd be nice to know what we ended up with, whether it was Team Mara or Team Djuma that ended up with a win. I think both sides had to deal with some rather trying conditions. What is that? Is that a leopard? Hold on. Or is it a warthog? Well, it's difficult to see in this light. Can you see there, Seb, where I'm shining? There's some far, yeah. So let's have a look. I don't know. I can't see nicely, but somewhere in there was an animal moving around. Yes, it's a leopard. There we go. Last minute leopard, straight in the middle of your screen, right there. That's so cool. Right, let's go have a little look quickly. That's so cool. I'm so excited. What an afternoon we've had. What are the chances that we would have spotted a leopard from where we were? It's not exactly easy to see. The light is horrible. My spotlight is not that far. And I actually, for a second, thought it was a warthog, but I just wanted to double check. And then as soon as Seb zoomed in with that white tip to the tail, it could only be a leopard. And there we go. There is a leopard moving southwards. Now, who is it? Is it my favorite Tumba, or the growing well, not growing favorites, but growing on me champion, that is little Hosana? One of the two of them, I would imagine, given that they were both in this area over the last little bit. Hopefully we can just spend a little extra with him, just because, well, it's my last drive and I would like to spend 2 minutes with this leopard before we finish up. So let's have a look here. Who are you and why are you disappearing from me? Okay, you going that way. Your nose is down. It looks like quite a large leopard, actually. I wonder if this is maybe little Hosana. That's who it is. So Hosana is growing and he's still fat because he's been eating a lot, and he's now looks just like him. So there we go. Perfect. Now, like I say, to see these guys in this kind of light is not easy at all. And there we go. Is it Hosana? Looks like Hosana. It is Hosana, am I right? Yes, it is Hosana. So that's so cool. What an epic way to finish our day. Now, somebody's just calling me on the radio. The station's just located on Hosana. He's mobile, south and west on Shirombi, Rombi and Lela. If anybody wants to come this way, you're more than welcome to join me on B Radio Down. So there we go. So there we go. Let's just go forward. Hello, little Hosana. What are you doing, boy? He's going to be hunting a lot tonight. Perfect conditions for a leopard to hunt. There we go. How's that, Seb? Perfect. Now you'll see that we go into a different color. That's because we're going to be in our infrared. It's just much better for these leopards. At the end of the day, we don't have to worry about shining a light into their eyes, and so who cares what our bird list scores were, because if we just add a leopard to our bird list, we most certainly take the win. Team Djuma all the way. High five, Seb. There we go. Thank you. We'll take that. Hosana agrees. Thank you, Mr. Hosana. You have absolutely made my day, and what a way to end off a working cycle, because not only did we have a male lion roaring, we had birds, a new species for me. Well, no, sorry, for some of you, in a whiskered tern. It's the first time I put that on camera. And, well, a leopard in the last minutes. And that just doesn't get any better in terms of an afternoon drive. Now, you see he's busy watching something. I wonder if he is potentially stalking. You see how he's going up the mount? And you see how low he's getting. So I'm going to just try and reposition here quickly and just see, because it looks as though he might have spotted something. And there's lots of impala lambs around. When we were first kind of in this area at the dam earlier, I spotted lots of impala lambs, and I wonder if he maybe hasn't seen one of those. So I'm just going to pull up. Oh, that is beautiful. Hosana, you are a very pretty boy. Seba, you're right there. Sorry, I know your pole's in the way. It would have been such a beautiful view without the pole, but anyway, it's okay. We still have a wonderful view of Hosana, and we'll probably stay in color because he's close enough for our lights to be able to see him quite nicely. But isn't that just the most wonderful thing? So cool. I'm so excited that we managed to find him, and like I say, the chances of us finding him was slim to none. It just goes to show you've got to have a little bit of luck in this whole situation, because at the end of the day, had I not shone my lights at the time that I did, we would never have seen him, and we would have driven right past him. And it's that end of the drive, and sometimes you lose concentration, but, well, you sometimes also get lucky, and we have been severely lucky this afternoon. It's been absolutely wonderful to see. Now, he's ducked down the mound. I think he's heard some guinea fowl that are making a bit of a noise, and I wonder if he thinks maybe there's another leopard around. We know that Hosana has an affinity to see other leopards and kind of have a look around, and so maybe he's heard that, and that's why he's going to drift that way. You can see, look, he's changed to where he's watching, and he's just here on our left-hand side still, so he's still kind of peering off into the distance and down towards the dam to where those guinea fowl were making a noise. Now, you will see a light that's being shone. There are guests here, and unfortunately, they don't have the ability to be able to go into infrared mode with their eyes, and so the light is needed for them to be able to see. We're just so fortunate that we get vehicles that are able to see. Now, he is trotting off down to where those guinea fowl are going. He's not in a hunting mood anymore. He's just going to walk behind the vehicle and say hello to everybody, and then off he goes. So I think what we're going to probably do is leave him right there. There's a number of other vehicles that want to come, and, well, a last-minute leopard is just the most wonderful thing in the world. So he's going to drift off into the darkness. You can see how difficult it is to see. Also, my friend over there, Hully, whose birthday it is, so we'll go and say a happy birthday to Hully. He, unfortunately, is battling with his battery, so I'll have to give him a bit of a help as well before we go. But it's been the most wonderful day. I've had an absolute ball with the rain, and everything else has just added to the fun of our birding big day, because otherwise James will shout at me. But it's been a real wonderful experience, and so for myself, Noel, Brent, Jamie, Kirsten FC, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you all in a week, and the rest of you on Sunrise Safari tomorrow.